ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेव। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेव। ब्रह्म उवाच ज्ञातोऽसि मेऽद्य शुचिराननुदेहभाजाम् न ज्ञायते भगवतो गतिरित्यवध्यम् नान्यत्वदस्ति भगवन्नपि तन्न शुद्धम् माया गुणविधिकराद्यद्गुरुर्विभासि।
Sharmila Mataji, please, the English translation. Thank you.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lord Brahma said, "O my Lord, today, after many, many years of penance, I have come to know about you. Oh, how unfortunate the embodied living entities are that they are unable to know your personality. My Lord, you are the only knowable object because there is nothing supreme beyond you. If there is anything supposedly superior to you, it is not the absolute. You exist as the supreme by exhibiting the creative energy of matter." Hare Krishna.
रूपं यद्येतद् अवबोधरसोदयेन शश्वन्निवृत्ततमसः सदनुग्रहाय आदौ गृहीतमवतारशतैकबीजं यन्नामि पद्मभवनदहमाविरासम्।
The form which I see is eternally freed from material contamination and has advented to show mercy to the devotees as a manifestation of internal potency. This incarnation is the origin of many other incarnations. And I'm born from the lotus flower grown from your navel home.
नातः परं परमयद्भवतः स्वरूपम् आनन्दमात्रमविकल्पम् अविद्धवत्यहम् पश्यामि विसृजम् एकम् अविश्वमात्मन् भूतेन्द्रियात्मकमदस्थ उपासितोऽस्मि।
O my Lord, I do not see a form superior to your present form of eternal bliss and knowledge. In your impersonal Brahman effulgence in the spiritual sky, there is no occasional change and no deterioration of internal potency. I surrender unto you because, whereas I'm proud of my material body and senses, your Lordship is the cause of the cosmic manifestation, and yet you are untouched by matter.
तद्वायुं भुवनमङ्गलमङ्गलाय ध्याने स्मनोदर्शितं तव उपासकानां तस्मै नमो भगवते अनुविधेम तुभ्यं यो नादृतो नरकभाग्भिः असत्प्रसङ्गैः।
This present form, or any transcendental form, expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics.
ये तु त्वदीयचरणं भुजकोशगन्धं जिघ्रन्ति कर्णविवरैः सुतिवातनीतं भक्त्या गृहीतचरणः परया च तेषां नापैषिनादहृदयाम्बुरहास्वपुंसाम्।
O my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears, accept your devotional service. For them, you are never separated from the lotus of their hearts.
तावद्भयं द्रविणदेहसुहृन्निमित्तं शोकः स्पृहा परिभवो विपुलश्च लोभः तावन्ममेति असदवग्रहात्तिमूलम् यावन्न तेङ्घ्रिम् अभयम् प्रवृणीतलोकः.
O my Lord, the people of the world are embarrassed by all material anxieties. They are also afraid. They always try to protect wealth, body, and friends. They are filled with lamentation and unlawful desires and paraphernalia, and they avariciously based their undertakings on the perishable conceptions of my and mine. As long as they do not take shelter of your safe lotus feet, they are full of such anxieties.
दैवेन ते हतधियो भवतः प्रसङ्गात् सर्व अशुभ उपशमनात् विमुखेन्द्रियाये कुर्वन्ति कामसुखलेशलवायधीन लोभाभिभूतमनसो अकुशलानि शश्वत्.
O my Lord, persons who are bereft of the all auspicious performances of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate and are also bereft of good sense. They engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while.
चुत्रुट्ठितारिमा मुहुर्जमानाः शीतोष्णवातवर्षैरितरेतराच्यम् कामाग्निनाच्युतरुषा च सुदुर्भरेण सम्पस्थितो मन उर्क्रमसीदते मे.
O great actor, my Lord, all these poor creatures are constantly perplexed by hunger, thirst, severe cold, secretion, and bile, attacked by cough, winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements, and overwhelmed by strong sex urges and indefatigable anger. I take pity on them, and I am very much aggrieved for them.
यावत् पृथक्त्वमिदमात्मनीन्द्रियार्ध माया बलं भगवतो जनयेश पश्येत् तावन्न संस्थितिरसो प्रतिसङ्क्रमेत व्यर्दापि दुःखनिवहं वहति क्रियार्ध.
O my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet, as long as the conditional soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of material miseries, being influenced by your external energy.
अह्नि आपृता अर्धकर्णनिस्यनिस्ययान नानामनुरदध्याख्यनभग्ननिद्राहं दैवा हताद्धरचना ऋषियोऽपि देवा युष्मत्प्रसङ्गविमुखा इह संसरन्ति.
Such non-devotees engage their senses in very troublesome and extensive work, and they suffer insomnia at night because their intelligence constantly breaks their sleep with various mental speculations. They are frustrated in all their various plans by supernatural power. Even great sages, if they are against your transcendental topics, must rotate in this material world.
त्वं भक्तियोगपरिभावितहृत्सरोज आस्ये सुतेकितपतो नृणादपुंसं यद्यध्यात उरुगाय विभावयन्ति तद्धद्वपुः प्रणसे तदनुग्रहाय.
O my Lord, your devotees can see you through the years by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed. And you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you.
नाति प्रसीदति ततोपचितोपचारैः आराधितसुरगणैः हृदि बद्धकामैः यत्सर्वभूतदया असदलभ्यैको नानाजनेष्वभितः सुहृदन्तरात्मा.
O My lord, you are not very much satisfied by the worship of the demigods who arrange for your worship very pompously with various paraphernalia, but who are full of material hangerings. You are situated in everyone's heart as a super soul to show your costless mercy, and you are the eternal well-wisher, but you are unavailable for the non-devotee.
पुंसामतो विविधकर्मभिः अध्वराध्यैः दानेन चोग्रतपसा परिचर्यया च आराधनं भगवतः तव सत्क्रियार्थो धर्मोऽर्पितः करिचित् म्रियते न यत्र.
But the pious activities of the people, such as performance of Vedic rituals, charity, austere penances, and transcendental service, performed with the view to worship you and satisfy you by offering you the fruitive results, are also beneficial. Such acts of religion never go in vain.
शश्वस्वरूपमहसैव निपीतभेद मोहाय बोधदिशनाय नमः परस्मै विश्वोद्भवस्थितिलयेषु निमित्तलीला रासाय ते नम इदं चक्रुमेश्वराय.
Let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendental, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His indistinguishable impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him, who by his pastimes enjoy the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation.
यस्यावतार गुणकर्म विडम्बनानि नामानि येषु विगमे विवसा गृह्णन्ते तेनैकजन्मशमलं सहसैव हित्वा संयान्त्यपावृतामृतं तमजं प्रपद्ये.
Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who evokes his transcendental names, even unconsciously at the time he quits his life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and attains him without fail.
यो अहं च गिरिशश्च विभुः स्वयं च स्थितिबुद्धो प्रलयहेतव आत्ममूलं भित्त्वा त्रिपाद्बहुहृद एकूरुप्रोहः तस्मै नमो भगवते भुवनध्रुमाय.
O Lordship, your Lordship is the prime root of the tree of planetary systems. This tree has grown by first penetrating the material nature in three trunks, as me, Shiva, and you, the Almighty, for creation, maintenance, and dissolution. And we three have grown with many branches. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you, the tree of the cosmic manifestation.
लोको विकर्मनिरतः कुशले प्रमत्तः कर्मण्ययं त्वदुदिते भवदच्चने स्वे यस्तावदस्य बलवानिह जीवितासां सद्यः चिनत्य अनिमिषाय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै.
People in general all engage in foolish acts, not in the really beneficial activities enunciated directly by you for their guidance. As long as that tendency for foolish work remains powerful, all the plans in the struggle for existence will be cut to pieces. I therefore offer my obeisances unto him who acts as eternal time.
यस्माद्भिवेमि अहम् अपि विपराध्यदिस्त्यम् अध्यासितः सकललोकनमस्कृतं यन् तेऽपे तपो बहुसवो अवृत्समानः तस्मै नमो भगवते अधिमकाय तुभ्यम्.
Your Lordship, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, who are indefatigable time and the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Although I am situated in an abode which will continue to exist for a time duration of 2 paradas, although I am the leader of all other planets in the universe, and although I have undergone many, many years of penance for self-realization, still I offer my respects unto you.
तिर्यक् मनुष्य विबुधादिषु जीवयोनिषु आत्मे च यात्मकृतसेतु परीक्षयायहं रेमे निरस्तविषयोऽपि अवृद्धदेहः तस्मै नमो भगवते पुरुषोत्तमाय.
O my Lord, by your own will you appear in the various species of living entities, among animals lower than human beings, as well as among the demigods, to perform your transcendental pastimes. You are not affected by material contamination. You come just to fulfill the obligations of your own principles of religion, and therefore, O Supreme Personality, I offer my obeisances unto you for manifesting such different forms.
यो विद्ययानुपसोऽपि दशार्धवृत्या निद्रामुवाह जशरीकृतलोकयात्रहम् अन्तर्जले कस्पुस्पर्शानुकूलां भीमोर्मिमालिनि जनस्य सुखं विवृण्वन्.
My Lord, you accept the pleasure of sleeping in the water of devastation where there are violent waves, and you enjoy pleasure on the bed of snakes, showing the happiness of your sleep to intelligent persons. At that time, all the universal planets are stationed within your abdomen.
यन्नाभि पद्मभवनादहमासमीढ्य लोकोत्रयोपकरणो यदनुग्रहेण तस्मै नमस्तबुधरस्तभवाय योग निद्रावसान विकसत् नलिनेक्षणाय.
O object of my worship, I am born from the house of your lotus navel for the purpose of creating the universe by your mercy. All these planets of the universe are stationed within your transcendental abdomen while you are enjoying sleep. Now, your sleep having ended, your eyes are open like blossoming lotuses in the morning.
सोऽयं समस्तजगतां सुहृद्येकात्मा सत्त्वेन यन्मृडयते भगवान् भगेन तेनैव मीदृशमनुस्पृशिताद् यताहं स्रक्ष्यामि पूर्वदिदं प्रणतप्रियोऽसौ.
Let the Supreme Lord be merciful towards me. He is the one friend and soul of all living entities in the world, and he maintains all for their ultimate happiness by his 6 transcendental opulences. May he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create, for I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Amog Das Prabhu and Sharmila Mataji, for the wonderful recitations today. This is a short notice. Basically, I'll try my level best to do justice to the chat today, but I would really appreciate senior devotees' input, junior devotee, every devotee's input into today's chat. So before that, let us start with the prayers. Thank you for having me today. Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जय श्री कृष्ण. So today we have verses from 7 till 9. So any volunteers to do the verses, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, I can do the English version. Is that okay?
Okay, Mataji, no worries. I can do the Sanskrit for you if you want.
Okay.
Let me just go into verses 7. Oh, 1 second, Mataji. Let me just get the...
It's 7, don't we?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the verse because I think it's coming to the purport, right? So, yeah, 7. दैवेन ते हता धियो भवता प्रसंगा. This is a very long tune. दैवेन ते हता धियो भवता प्रसंगा दैवेन ते हता धियो भवता प्रसंगात् सर्वाशुभोपशमनाद्विमुखेन्द्रियाये कुर्वन्ति कामसुखलेश लवाय दीना लोभाभिभूतमनसो कुशलानि शाश्वत.
Translation. O my Lord, persons who are bereft of all auspicious performance of chanting and hearing about your transcendental activities are certainly unfortunate and are also bereft of good sense. They engage in inauspicious activities, enjoying sense gratification for a very little while. Purport. The next question is why people are against such auspicious activities as chanting and hearing the glories and pastimes of the Lord, which can bring total freedom from the cares and anxieties of material existence. The only answer to this question is that they are unfortunate because of supernatural control due to their offensive activities performed simply for the sake of sense gratification. The Lord's pure devotees, however, take compassion upon such unfortunate persons and, in a missionary spirit, try to persuade them into the line of devotional service. Only by the grace of pure devotees can such unfortunate men be elevated to the position of transcendental service.
Next verse, please. Shutrit त्रिधातु भिरिमा मुहुर् यमानः शीतोष्णवातवरशैरितरे तरा च कामाग्निनाच्युत रुषा च सुदुर्भरेण सम्पश्यतो मन उरुक्रमसिदते मे.
Translation. O great actor, my lord, all these poor
Creatures.
Okay, I'll start again. Oh my lord. Okay, so that's
O
the
great
wait,
actor.
isn't it? O great actor, my lord, all these poor creatures are constantly perplexed by hunger, thirst, severe cold, secretion, and bile, attacked by coughing winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements, and overwhelmed by strong sex urges and indefatigable anger. I take pity on them, and am very much aggrieved for them. Translation. A pure devotee of the Lord like Brahma and persons in his disciplic succession are always unhappy to see the perplexities of the conditioned souls who are suffering the onslaughts of the threefold miseries which pertain to the body and mind, to the disturbances of material nature, and to many other such material disadvantages. Not knowing adequate measures for relieving such difficulties, suffering persons sometimes pose themselves as leaders of the people, and the unfortunate followers are put into further disadvantages under such so-called leadership. This is like a blind man leading another blind man to fall into a ditch. Therefore, unless the devotees of the Lord take pity on them and teach them the right path, their lives are hopeless failures. The devotees of the Lord who voluntarily take the responsibility of raising the foolish materialistic sense enjoyers are as confidential to the Lord as Lord Brahma.
Text 9. यावत् पृथक्त्वा मिदमात्मनन् इन्द्रियार्थ माया बलं भगवतो ईश पश्येत् तावन् संसृतिरसौ प्रतिसंक्रमेत व्यर्थापि दुःख निवहं वहति क्रियार्थम्.
Translation. O my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet, as long as the conditioned soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of material miseries, being influenced by your external energy. Purport: the whole trouble of the living entity in material existence is that he has an independent conception of life. He is always dependent on the rules of the Supreme Lord in both the conditioned and liberated states. But by the influence of the external energy, the conditioned soul thinks himself independent of the supremacy of the personality of Godhead. His constitutional position is to dovetail himself with the desire of the Supreme Will, but as long as he does not do so, he is sure to drag on in the shackles of material bondage. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.55, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partham manogatan. He has to give up all sorts of plans manufactured by mental concoction. The living entity has to dovetail himself with the Supreme Will. That will help him to get out of the entanglement of material existence. Hare Krishna. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Mataji. Very nice to hear your voice again after a long time. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
So we're just going back to the. So it's not making me go back. Okay. So text 7. So we obviously we are in this chapter is so beautiful. It is Brahma. So Brahma's prayers for creative energy. So Brahma is now we have seen how Brahma was created in the last chapter, right? And now Krishna is the Lord has given Brahma the Mula Mantra to start creating this energy. He has given him all the raw materials, and Brahma has to actually to get all after getting the mantra, he has to really meditate a lot to understand even the Lord. So that is his, when he's explaining to all these things, he's understanding what is the Lord's powers and how the Lord is, oh my God, unsurmountable, basically, massive, and anything you can, the words are inexhaustible. So Brahma's realization, so this whole chapter is about Brahma's realization of the Lord, to see, oh my God, what is this? I mean, I have been so ignorant all this while, but he's trying to explain how, and you see later in the thing how this chapter is all dedicated to Brahma Samhita, the prayers of Brahma to the Lord, and glorifying his nature, his vastness, his opulences, his powerfulness, his wealth, everything will be, I mean, his devotees, how he likes his devotees, and what sort you're supposed to do. I mean, the ways of how he goes on explaining in this Brahma Samhita. So over here in the first 6 verses, you will see that how. Let me just get back into my apologies. I don't have a proper computer yet, so therefore you will not be able to see my face still. So over here, Lord Brahma is trying to explain how he realized the Lord, right? The same way, only if you have to surrender fully, only when you surrender your full ego and everything, then only at least you will be able to see glimpses of the Lord. You will be able to understand. Otherwise, you will not be able to. If you speculate, so they say for wherever there is sensitivity, if you start speculating, you will not be able to see the Lord or see these spiritual things if you start speculating, because it is such a sensitive issue that they do not appear to people who speculate. So the same way, the Lord doesn't like speculation. You have to just surrender, and because once you start speculating, that means you're showing your ego over there, and you're trying to say, like, okay, I can challenge you, sort. Once somebody who speculates actually challenges in a way, okay, prove me what you are, that sort. So once you start speculating, then the thing goes off. So over here in this verse, Lord Brahma is trying to say, like, He's trying to say persons who are people who are used to hearing chanting and doing devotional services. They are really the most fortunate people, because they can see, they can understand, they can feel the God everywhere, you know. But people who are not into these activities, they are very, very unfortunate. They're saying they're very, very unfortunate. And the more you are away from the transcendental activities, the more Maya comes and engulfs you into the whole. So Maya is basically there seeing which way you are going. Are you going Krishna's way or non-Krishna's way? If you're going Krishna's way, Maya will not bother you. Okay, fine, you're in the right track. But once you try to deviate, Maya will say, okay, come into my land now. So this is what over here, why people over here, why are they not able to basically get into this transcendental activities, is because they're so much into this body sense. They forget that the soul is present. They forget that the super soul is present inside them. And they always are so short-sighted, you know, very short-sighted. They only see this flesh, bone, and this body and the sense gratification. All your indriyas come off into play, and all your senses come into play. And once the sense come into play, it is like, it is a big addiction, basically. You can't get out of it. So how to get out of the addiction? Do we know? You can't be saying like giving in small quotas, that they will never get out. Either you go, like suppose if somebody's example, this is not the thing to use, but we use it in medicine. If somebody is drinking a lot, some people by little, some people you'll never get out, because they'll always bounce back. You know, if you drink, if you suppose somebody's drinking like 10 bottles of whiskey, or 2 bottles of whiskey, or whatever it is, and some people will advise that, okay, come off like slowly. Yes, they might, but there's every chance for them to revert back. So, but whether some people can go cold turkey, basically they will just be detached from it totally. So if they're detached from, if they can do that, then it is very unlikely for them to come back. But then it all depends upon your association. So your detachment is all in the mind. So in your mind, you can think, okay, I want to be a devotee, or I don't want to be a devotee. So when you have to detach yourself from your association, or the bad association, and then become a devotee. The same way of a person who is not associated with good devotees, or with non-devotees, then they will all go into the Maya. So over here, Lord Brahma is trying to say that, as why are people so unfortunate over here, is that they keep on, they are doing things for their own sense gratification. So if you're so selfish about your own self and not thinking about Krishna, then you get a problem. Then you're stuck in this materialistic world. And then Lord Brahma is trying to say, like, how these people are so unfortunate. And only because of this pure devotees, we always know how much ever we do, there should be a pure devotee or a spiritual master who will guide you and take you to the way. So here the Lord's pure devotees, what they do, they take compassion upon these unfortunate people. So they feel really sad. Oh my God, look at this person, is suffering such a lot. Let me go and help him a bit. So that is again with Krishna's help, Krishna's mercy. Otherwise, nobody can do anything. So Krishna's mercy has come through your spiritual master or through another devotee upon you, so that you can follow the right path and go back to Krishna. So wherever there is no Krishna's devotee, we can never go. So all of us know that we have come into this path by somebody or the other, by one devotee who has shown us this path. And that's where we are here. And that is the whole grace of the devotee, that we're able to go into this devotional path, the transcendental path. So, and that is again, this is the whole thing they're trying to say in the 7th verse. So only by the grace of pure devotees can such unfortunate people, men, be elevated to the position of transcendental service. So whatever we do, we need a devotee to help us to achieve our blissfulness, our devotion to the Lord, and how we can, if somebody doesn't teach us, we won't know. If your mother doesn't teach you how to talk, or your parents don't teach you how to talk or how to walk, it is so difficult for you to learn. The same way, if the acharyas don't teach us how to do devotional service, then we are nothing. We will just do all mixture, adulterated stuff, and then it will be all totally perplexed and we don't know what to do. But if you have a person to guide you, this is the right way to do, then you don't waste time in doing wrong things. And again, over here, the second verse, when we go to verse number 8, he says, Lord, these poor creatures are constantly perplexed. So they're perplexed by what? All these materialistic things, like all the elements will come off now. Your hunger, you're feeling your sense organs, everything to be sense. Your hunger, your stomach, you're feeling hungry, thirst, and severe cold. Is again with skin, secretion, bile, attacked by coughing winter, blasting summer, rains, and many other disturbing elements. And the worst part is the strongest sex urges and anger. These are the two worst vices if anybody can have. Anybody who's short-tempered, nobody wants to be with them. And anybody who's like who's hungry for sex, nobody wants to be with them. So these are the worst of worst people over there. So over here, so Brahma is saying, take pity on them, and I'm very much agree for them. He feels really sad for them. So when Brahma, a pure devotee like Brahma, and all his disciplic succession, all the acharyas, they're always unhappy to see people in this type of a situation. And that is why they try to come forward and help. And this is where we are supposed to be following. All of us are supposed to be having a spiritual master at some point in our life, whenever you think you're ready. I mean, the earlier the better. We should have a spiritual master who can guide us. Because no matter what you do, how much ever you read, how much ever you do, you still need somebody to guide you, because your mind is not so pure. You might be doing devotional service, you might be doing so many things, but you still need a person to guide you with this holding of hand and taking us through the path. So not knowing adequate measures for relieving such difficulties, suffering persons sometimes pose themselves as leaders of the people. And so this is again, if you do not have a proper leader, then obviously you are doing wrong things. And then if you're doing wrong things, then nobody's there to tell you, nobody's there to judge you, nobody's there to control you. Then whatever you do right or wrong, you might think it is right for you. So you might just and again, you can't give the same advice to somebody else, because you don't know what is right for you. And you have to go through the disciplic succession for you to even become a person to advise somebody else. So because you need to know what is the right and wrong thing. So therefore, we have, if the devotees should not fall into such prey, of such people, and also the devotees of the Lord take pity on them and teach them. That's what I was saying, teach them on the right path, and so that we do not fall into the wrong places. So over here, the devotees of the Lord who voluntarily take the responsibility of raising the foolish materialistic sense enjoyers are as confidential to the Lord as Lord Brahma. So obviously, Lord will so the devotees who are really taking upon them, who are taking upon them the responsibility, they have the blessings of the Lord. They have the blessings of the Lord, that you have taken on the responsibility the God has given you, and you are taking it up with dedication and with motivation, or with a will to do. Anything we do, we're not for the sake of doing it, but for really doing for a purpose, is more appreciated than just being present there. So if you have gone to a place to represent something, we don't go over there just to tick the boxes or fill the spaces over there. If you're going there something, then you have to show your true intention of going there. So the same way, if you want to help somebody, we have to be with the intention of helping them sincerely. So anything you do it's all with the intent. Everything depends upon the intent, the thought process. So even though sometimes realistically you can't be at a genuine place, but you can tell them your intention that I'm really sorry, I'm not able to be there because of so and so reason. People will appreciate that more better than somebody trying to just, fob off the things. So over here, your intention is what Krishna sees. Krishna sees with what, because he knows everybody's heart. Yeah, he's inside you. So if he's inside you, if you're lying to yourself. There's nobody else. So you have to be very careful of who you say what and what you say, and everything is judged, by the way. So by the Lord, everything is judged, what we say, what we do. So we have to be as honest as possible. Krishna knows that we can never be so truthful every time because we are conditioned souls, but still we have to try our level best to be as honest as possible. Going to the 9th verse, it is says, so, O my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet, as long as the conditioned soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of the material miseries, being influenced by external energy. So, main thing is they have to understand that there is a soul inside, and this is the body. We have to detach ourselves from whatever the body asks us to do. That we have to detach ourselves and try to concentrate on the soul. So how we have to concentrate on the soul is the way we have to follow the path of bhakti. That's the best way to do. The other paths are more difficult, and even though there is different levels. So how do we follow the path of bhakti? Is by good association and by following the acharyas in the parampara. So the whole trouble of living entity in material existence is that he has an independent conception of life. And the other thing is you're never independent. You're always dependent. That you have to remember, because people think once they have so much of money or so much of materialistic things, materialistic opulence, I would say, they think they're powerful, but they don't realize the materialistic opulence was never yours and will never be yours. You will never take anything with you. It belongs to somebody else, so you can't take it away from them. If you're taking it, means you're cheating, or you're basically robbing things away. So this is all Krishna's wealth, not ours. We are just servants of here working. So we think that if you buy a house, or if you buy a land, or if you buy so and so things, that this is mine. We have the thing of mine. We should not say it is mine, because we should say it is Krishna's, and Krishna has given us to serve for him, basically. That is what we're all supposed to do. But we all get caught up in this materialistic thing, just trying to boost our egos. And that is where the whole problem comes, because as we know, the ego is the biggest factor in our whole body, and is the most difficult to break. So if you can break your ego and become humble and just double down totally and put your head to the ground, be so grounded, then only you can understand what the Lord is. Lord runs away from people who are egoistic. He doesn't like it. Anger, all these vices, anger, lust, telling lies, about ego, being very proud, and those things Krishna doesn't like at all. It doesn't matter how you are, you will find you can see how it is. Like when the people who are very, very rich, they're never happy. They might pretend to be happy, but inner happiness is never there. They're always in search of true happiness, which they cannot. They have to leave all these materialistic things to become happy. So anybody, when you see, all the Krishna devotees are so, once they surrender to the Lord, you can see how happy they become. And it shows when your inner soul is happy. It shows in your skin, it shows in your eyes, it shows in your smile, it shows in the way how you portray yourself. You don't have to wear glamorous clothes or opulent things, or wear so much of gold or diamonds or anything to show that you are the simple thing. So that's why you see all the Vaishnav devotees, they look the most youngest and the most happiest And they look, of course, the tilak beautifies the face all the time, but you can see when somebody is really honest and happy inside, it just shows in the face. And they become so youthful. They will never show their age. They will not be what the real age, the materialistic age is. So this is what real happiness is, which you will never get with rich people, because rich people are always full of anxieties. They have so much of kunta that they cannot, because they're always attached to the own money and things. The more, once they start giving charity or become philanthropic, then they find a bit of happiness. But then again, if you have that think of, the more you try to keep attached to it, the more you won't feel happy at all. So over here, what we have to do is basically we have to dovetail into our consciousness, and so where our soul should dovetail into the super soul's super soul. So once you go behind the super soul, then obviously it will follow. Like example, if you're in really good company, suppose if you put your child into a group of who are the top rankers, yeah, then his way of thinking will start changing that way, because he will be tuned, he will be in that frequency where the top rankers think. Like suppose if you go for competitive exams, if you're in a group which are getting very good marks, because their way of thinking of how to answer the question or solve the question will be so different, then you go to a mediocre's group, So if you want to be competitive, and then I'm not saying that mediocre groups are less or this one is much less. Everybody has their own the qualities, but I'm giving one example as if you want to top the class, you have to be among right association or right group of people. So the same way, our consciousness should actually dovetail into the super soul. So super soul is there inside us, and it is always waiting for us to look back upon onto the super soul, just like the two birds in the tree. And so how the soul is wanting to be, the super soul is wanting our soul to at least recognize and then understand that why you're here, and follow the super soul. So over here, that can only happen with the help of the mercy of the Lord. But mercy of the Lord will only happen when you show some interest. When you don't show any interest, then God will say, oh, his time has not come. Her time has not come. Let them stay for some more time in this Mrityulok, or God knows Patal Lok, or God knows Talatal, Sutal, whatever. So all in all, what happens is Lord Brahma is trying to say, like, you have to surrender yourself. And he will explain when the coming verses as to how a person should basically give up everything, detach from all these materialistic things, and then go into devotional service and bhakti. And that is the topmost way of approaching to the Lord. I just wanted to say about a story. Obviously, there's so much to say in these verses, but I've just given a brief thing. But I wanted to read out, obviously, how Brahma's ego, how it was. So many stories we know about how Brahma's ego was basically broken down in a way, especially when one of the when he comes to meet Krishna, isn't it? So this is one of the stories where all of you know, but just wanted to reiterate again. So when Krishna was in Dwarka, then Lord Brahma comes to see him, but the doorman, obviously, they will not allow him to go. And then Brahma will tell Lord Krishna about his arrival, and then the doorman will go and tell Krishna that Brahma has come. So obviously Krishna knows. He knows about Brahma's ego, so he wants to really make him realize. So he tells the doorman, ask Brahma which Brahma was he. So, and then Brahma will be really shocked, and he will say, this is the four-headed Brahma. So please go on. I'm the father of the four Kumaras, and I'm the four-headed Brahma. So the doorman will go and tell Brahma to Lord Krishna, then the Lord Krishna will allow him to come. So when he offers, Brahmaji will offer obeisances to the lotus feet, but he'll be still bewildered, very perplexed as to, I mean, because this is what happens, when there's so much of ego, you think you're the center of attraction. You think, what the hell? I know everything. Nobody knows anything. So you will fail to see everything else around you. So Brahmaji will first, his mind is so, astir, and he will say like, so he will, Krishna will ask us to, why have you come? What's the reason for your attendance over here, So Brahmaji over there also, he will not acknowledge. Then also he wants himself to be first. He'll say, no, I will tell you that later, but first of all, tell me why. There's a doubt in my mind. Can you just clear that one first? So can you see over here? They're thinking of themselves first over there. So anybody who is egoistic will always think of themselves first. And then they will forget, they will not see. So the lesson over here is listening, then talking. So when you talk, you don't listen, right? So when you listen, then you talk less. But that's why we have got 2 ears and 1 mouth. But if you talk more, then your ears get shut and you can't hear what other people are saying, because you'll only hear your voice. You will not be able to hear anybody else. So here, so Brahma will be trying to say like, no, tell me first of all, why did you say which Brahma, Why did you inquire which Brahma has come to see you? Then Krishna, obviously, he will smile, and then he will meditate. When he meditates, then innumerable Brahmas will come. Lots and lots of Brahmas will arrive. And what Brahmas are they? Oh my God, one with 5 heads, 10 heads, 20 heads, thousands of heads, millions, trillions of heads. So many heads, such big Brahmas will be coming. And then along with them come so many Lord Shivas, and then Lord Indras, and oh my God, lots and lots of all this, the demigods will start coming. When Brahma sees all this, he becomes really more bewildered, now more complex as to, oh my God, what is all this? And then all the Brahmas have come to see Krishna. All of them offer the respects. Obviously, all of you know the story, but I just want to tell. I feel a bit happy to tell the story. So then basically then Brahma basically realizes the opulence of how Krishna's world is. And then he sees that all the Brahmas who were there, they were resting in this one body of Krishna. And with folded hands, obviously, all the Brahmas and Shivas and all, they will offer prayers unto Lord Krishna, saying that you have given us a great favor by paying obeisances to you, and it is our great fortune, and that you have thought of us as your servant. So can you please let us know what you want us to do so that we can carry on your orders? And then Lord Krishna will say, I just wanted all of you to be together. That's why I've called all of you here. And so is there any other problem from anybody and all that? So they will say that whatever, for your mercy, they say like, we are very, very happy over here. We are very victorious everywhere. We are fine. So whatever burden was upon the earth, you have taken away by descending on that planet. So wherever Krishna goes, he takes away that burden. So this is obviously the reason for Dwarka's opulence. So all the Brahmas thought, now Krishna is now staying in my jurisdiction. Thus the opulence of Dwarka was perceived by each and every one of them. Although they were all assembled together, no one could see anyone but themselves. So everybody were thinking about Krishna in their own universe, So then Krishna obviously tells them, okay, bye to all the Brahmas and everybody, and then they all go home. After seeing all this, then this 4-headed Brahma, our Mrityu land, where we are, like, this universe as Brahma will feel really. Then he will realize, that, oh my God. Then he pays his obeisances to the Lord Krishna. And then he says, I have just only realized that whatever I formally decided about my knowledge, I have just now had personally verified. So he realizes that this is not the only world, and there are lots of other universes. So jananta eva janantu kim bahuktya name prabho manaso vapuso vacho vaibhavam tava gochara. So there are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think in that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they're all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and words. So Krishna said, your particular universe, he says, talks about this universe now. Your particular universe, he tells you this four-headed Brahma, extends 4 billion miles. And it says this is the smallest of the universe. So 4 billion miles is this universe, and that is the smallest. And that is why consequently, you have only 4 heads, because yours is like 4 billion miles. So the width of your universe, whatever, so billion is 1 unit, like over here. So 1 head is 1 billion. So some of the universes are 1 billion yojanas, some 1 trillion, and some 10 trillion, and some 100 trillion yojanas. So they're almost unlimited in area. So according to the size of the universe, there's so many heads on the body of Brahma. So in this way, he maintains innumerable universes, Brahmandas. So nobody can measure the length and breadth of 1/4 of my energy. Who can measure the 3/4 that is manifested in the spiritual world? So beyond the river Viraja is a spiritual nature which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is the supreme abode consisting of 3/4 of the Lord's opulences, and it is known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. So this story I wanted to say because I felt like it was such a lovely story, which we have heard so many times, but this was a different form, I thought I should say. And I was just wondering whether I should just praising for Krishna, there's Vasudeva Sutam Devam, the Krishnastakam by Adi Shankaracharya, if I may. I just thought maybe I could just sing this and then I will end it, and then it's open for to the flow. Are you okay, Mataji and Prabhuji? It just is a Krishnastakam written by Adi Shankaracharya. I thought I should just remember Krishna on this thing.
Yes, certainly. Go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vasudev. I'm sure all of you all know this song, but it's a lovely song. It is in KK songs, Mataji. So Vasudev. You want to put it up on the screen or something, Mataji?
Can Jyoti Mataji do it,
Hare
please?
Krishna, Mamta Mataji. I can put it, but can I just have the name, please? The proper name. The full name.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam.
Vasudevam Sutam Devam.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
VASU.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam.
Sutam Devam.
Ah, got it. One minute. In this one.
Should I go ahead? Well, let me see, Mataji. Let me see.
Is it this one?
Let me just see. Yes, Mataji, that one.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Atashi Pushpa Sankasham Harano Purashobhitam Ratnakankanakeyuram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Kutilalaka Samyuktam Purnachandra Nibhananam Vilasatkundaladharam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mandaragandha Samyuktam Charuhasam Chaturbhujam Birhi Pinchava चूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमुतसन्निभम् यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् रुक्मिणीकेलीसंयुक्तं पीताम्बर सुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गोपिकानां कूजद्वन्द्वकुङ्कुमाङ्कितवक्षसं श्रीनिकेतमहेश्वासं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् श्रीवत्साङ्कं महोरस्कं वनमालविराजितं शङ्खचक्रधरं देवं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णाष्टकम् इदं पुण्यं प्रातरुथया यः पठेत् कोटिजन्म कृतं पापं स्मरणेन स्विनश्यति हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Sorry, Mataji, you're not practiced, but I just wanted to sing the song. It was such a nice song. So
Yes, it's a beautiful song. Very nice.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Another day, you can, if you want, you can do the translation or up to you all. Otherwise, it's open. The floor is open. Please, I mean, you all can add your comments, Matajis and Prabhujis.
Can I ask Mataji, please? So the song that you sang was in relation to what aspect of today's discussion, please?
So I've just glorifying Krishna. So
Oh, I see.
because Brahma is going to again still glorify Krishna now. In this chapter, Brahma Samhita is his prayers, just his realization of Krishna. So, and he will try to glorify. So that's going to come in the future chapters is going to come. So this is again a form of glorification of Krishna. So I thought I should just give the smaller version. But because Brahma Samhita is such a lovely prayer, it is going to come now. I don't want to spoil the, I don't want to spoil the whole thing of starting off with Brahma, because it's going to come now later in the later part of this chapter. We will have Brahma Samhita, where Brahma will be glorifying Krishna. So I thought
thank you for explaining, because I joined the class late today. That's why I asked. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Please forgive me for all my, mistakes and ignorance of maybe repetition. I tried my best to do as much in the short span of time. So if the floor is open for any comments and corrections, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Mamta Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So if there are no questions, should we say the ending prayers, Mataji? And Prabhuji?
Okay. Yes, I mean, if there are no final comments from anyone, yes, we can go ahead and say the Vanchakalpa prayer.
Thank you, Mataji. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavinebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Jai.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.